What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of MoneyCar Grand National Series Racing here on YouTube. Boy, that was a really generic intro. But yeah, welcome back to the MoneyCar Grand National Series. We're at Road America, a track where we had a banger last season. However, my microphone wasn't on, so I called the race, but none of the audio picked up, and I didn't feel like re-recording the whole thing and faking my reactions, blah blah blah. So I just went ahead and uploaded it without audio. But however, we are back, and hopefully better than ever. As you see, we have full field on hand, getting ready to kick things off. On the pole, 60 of Carl Everest to his left side, the 97 of Chris Mack. Then we got the 6 of Eric Darnell, the 20 of Denny Hamlin, who won this race last season. We'll get into that in a bit. Then it's rounding out the top 5, Rowdy, Wild Thing, Kyle Busch, and the 26 Ty Cleaver. Then there's Mike Wallace, and the 42 Montoya, Jason Leffler, and Casey Mears. Justin Allgaier, Brendan Gaughan, and then Bobby Labonte and Brian Vickers. Then you got Casey Applewood and Michael Lynette, Tony Raines, Ryan Weirday Jr., Kale, Brad Keselowski, Landon Castle in the 1, and the 11 of Scott Lagacy Jr. Then you've got Brian Clausen in the 41, and the 17 of Matt Kenseth, Danny O'Quinn Jr., and Richard Boswell. I don't know where I got Brian. Danny O'Quinn Jr., I believe, is actually lined up. No, he's with Boswell. Okay, then we've got Matt Carter and Ken Butler the third of the 23. Kevin Conway, Ward Burton, Michael McDowell, Trevor Payne, his teammate, Eric Almirola, Brett Rowe, Robbie Hamilton Jr., Kelly Byers, Robert Richardson Jr., Curtis Davis, Stan Barrett, Kerry Earnhardt, Chase Austin, Kenny Wallace, rounding out the field. So that is our starting lineup for the day. That's the entire field because this track is just that doggone big. And we've got time to hop into our story. So last season, Cleaver looked like he was in position to win, got robbed as Hamlin got into the back of him, sent him off the racetrack, and my reaction was kind of sort of like this. Oh, here comes Hamlin with a run. Oh, he turned him. Yeah. Shame that audio wasn't picked up. It was actually a really energetic call on my end, and unfortunately it was all for nothing, but still a great finish nonetheless, and hopefully we'll get more of the same action here today. Good racing and a great finish as we head out for the final corner. The pace car makes a hard right turn on the pit road, not something we say often, and now a huge uphill, as we have a large elevation change here, heading down the longest front straightaway in the series. Green flag is in the air, and we're racing at Road America. Chris Mack had a great jump on the start there and had a good push, pushing too hard in the back as around went Michael McDowell among others, wrecking big time heading down into turn 1. Multiple cars off the racetrack, and that's going to bring out the caution right off the bat. You see Kelly Byers, Michael McDowell, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Eric Almirola among others with damage, and we got more cars wrecking further up as there's Kevin Conway in the 87. Brendan Gaughan and Brian Vickers also around. Chris Mack has the early lead here down into the braking zone. Hard braking left-hander right here as Chris Mack continues to drive away. And now here comes the 20 of Denny Hamlin, who won last year, looking to do it again. He gets by the 60 of Edwards, heading down into another downhill braking zone and into the left-hander that follows. Now into the right-hander, into the carousel rather. It's a long sweeping right-hander that never seems to end until you're finally out of it. Chris Mack this first one out, obviously, as he's the leader. Now into the kink. Now this part completely shaded by trees and a very blind section of the racetrack as well, at least coming out of the kink. Now heading down in the Canada corner, which can also be a blind corner. All of these last couple of corners really can be blind corners if you really think about it with these angles. Heading down into the final turn, Chris Mack is going to get the drive off and going up the hill for the final time on this lap. He's going to lead us back to the caution flag, and let's go back and see the chaos that took place earlier on in this one. Just looking further back, just a bad push to the back of McDowell, and around they all went. And man, oh, this is gonna be hard. Yep, hard into the wall went Robert Richardson Jr. Terrible race earlier this week in Milwaukee, and now because he was hoping to turn the luck around but couldn't quite. Stanton Barrett got a piece of it but gets through for the most part. So they're wrecking right here. Now let's see what happened to Brian Vickers. Oh, just gets into the back of Brendan Gaughan. They stack up. Around goes Conway. Around goes many others. Ooh, hard on the wall went Hornaday. And around went Vickers, along with Brendan Gaughan. I believe the rest of the field made it through the rest of this lap relatively cleanly. Maybe a little bit of contact and a couple cars spinning off here and there, but nothing major. They knew the caution was already out, no need to get too aggressive. That was the opening lap here on the start. And yeah, caution out for the first time here today. And now the field's trying to catch the pace car, who's way ahead and just hauling the mail around this racetrack. Brendan Gaughan having an issue, seems to be off the pace, and that may delay the green flag a little bit here. As we fast forward through this lap, and now Chris Mack has to slow down, let them double back up, and they're hard on the gas, trying to catch the pace cars. We do extend the caution by a lap, as most of the field is just not caught up yet. Very strange circumstances here from Road America, but we're going to give them an extra lap or two, and here we go, already stacking them up on a restart as somebody did not go. And I believe it was the 7 of Mike Wallace who had an issue, got run over from behind, pushed into the grass. Luckily they made it out alive, and we only have about half the field with us here. The rest of the pack is all the way back here trying to catch back up. So the pack is all spread out through or around this racetrack, which provides a little bit of a cleaner restart, but definitely not how race control wanted it to go, because that's going to cost some people some time. I mean, there's some competitive cars that are stuck back there, and Mike Wallace continuing to fall back. So whatever the issue is in that 7 car seems to be pretty serious, and it's going to lose a few more positions here. That car not going anywhere off the corner, and he's just going to get turned. Yep. Trevor Bain got into the back of him there and absolutely killed that race car. So now that's another car out of this race. That was very unnecessary from Trevor Bain, but I guess he just kind of couldn't decide where to go, and now he's stuck in the gravel. And my mom's calling me on, so yeah, I can't mute for whatever reason. That's really unfortunate. So y'all are just gonna have to hear it. Hello? No. Alright, yeah, I can't, for whatever reason, my I can't open Betacam right now. Like, it's not showing at the bottom of my screen, and I don't want to risk ending this recording. So, just I guess I can't mute for this video. But it is what it is. Chris Mack leads back to the caution flag yet again, as he got a great jump, and everybody else seemed to just stack up behind him. Now let's try this again. Looks like more cars were able to catch the field this time. On the restart, no, they weren't. But they're closer, though. Green flag back in the air. Mack, this time, gets shuffled back. I believe Hamlin was actually the leader. 4 wide behind, but I think they sorted that out. Hamlin's going to fall back. Chris Mack dives in, retakes the lead. This one's starting to seem pretty chaotic. Starts and restarts. Big bump draft from the 12 of Allgaier down the straightaway, second longest straightaway on this racetrack, and now hard braking zone for the field to navigate here. They're all going to make it through. And now another heavy braking zone, a blind corner uphill, and then there's just a corner right there at the top of the hill. '97 of Mack pulling away from Denny Hamlin. Hamlin trying to reel him in. Carl Edwards gets up beside Chase Austin. Hopped in line, entering the kink there. Do not want to be side by side through that part of the racetrack, because it's not going to end well for somebody, and if it does, it's going to slow the both of you down. So look at Hamlin. He's reeling them in, using the draft to his advantage as well. Diving off into turn 1 yet again. Denny Hamlin's closing in on that 97 car. Catching him quickly. Todd Cleaver running third. How about the 18 of Kyle Busch as well, P4? Haven't spoken much about him, just through all the chaos. We've been worried about what's going on behind him, but Kyle Busch running fourth. Juan Pablo Montoya rounds out the top 5. A great run from Montoya as well here. Eric Darnell right behind him. Hamlin closing the gap big time. Man, oh man. What a battle this is shaping up to be. Hamlin, remember, got into the back of Cleaver last year. Said he didn't mean to run him off the racetrack. And now, reeling in the 97 car here today. Potentially in a position to go back to back from this racetrack here. Mack and Hamlin still going at it here. Hamlin right on the rear bumper of that 97 machine. Now Chris Mack, if you remember, ran his race last year as well. However, he was taken out on lap 1. I mean, he continued the race afterwards, but he suffered serious damage on the first lap of the race. caught up in a pileup off of turn number 1 there. As they stacked up in front of him, he got clipped and really had nowhere to go. Nothing he could do. He got clipped in the right rear and was sent spinning around and got hit pretty hard. I mean, it was literally nothing he could do about it. Luckily, this time he started the race in front of the melee and was able to grab the lead early on. But now can he hold on to it? Denny Hamlin right there behind him, filling up that mirror, trying to do everything he can to force that 97 machine into a mistake. But Chris Mack, remember, he loves the road courses. That's why he chooses to run them every time. He loves road course racing. He's a big fan of it. And from what we've seen, he's pretty decent at it as well. And I don't think I put the shine on here. Whoops. So, with that being said, this might be a shot. He might have this one, but he's gonna have to earn it. We know Hamlin's not gonna make it easy for him here, so he's really gonna have to fight for it here for Road America as we head through into Canada corner yet again. Another hard braking zone. Hamlin seems to make up a lot of time in these heavy braking zones here. Chris Mack has definitely been maturing as a driver, getting more and more disciplined and more patient over the years. Very aggressive, was fast, but too over aggressive early on. Hamlin now making some mistakes, falling back, losing a ton of ground to that 97 machine. Chris Mack just hitting his marks. We've seen him throw races away, wreck cars, and plenty of stuff over the years, but now he seems to be the one in control, in the driver's seat here from Road America, looking to win yet another race. This young driver, man, he's learning so quickly. Was thrown into wolves in 03, brand new driver, a field full of aggressive veterans that were racing crazy, and he wanted to match their aggression. It was actually a little too aggressive and found himself in a lot of wrecks, whether it was his fault or not, from 03 through 05, when we finally introduced the Pass series, when even in 05 he was tearing up cars in the MG Cup, but doing a great job in Pass in his couple of part-time starts. Even won a race, I believe Lanier won by an entire lap, or close enough to an entire lap. Tried to put everybody a lap down there. Showed everyone what he could do, what he was capable of, the skill he had. Just had to be something a little more, you know, that he could handle. Something he was more used to. That was a lot much more like the simulator, he said, as really racing on the simulators was not the way it was, at least on the bigger tracks. It was not the way it was, or the way it was back then. It was not the way it is today, with these higher speeds and the bunching up. And even though tracks are starting to lose grip, such as Atlanta and Kansas and even, heck, even Homestead for that matter. Homestead was a completely different track, but they added grip to it. They started racing like a super speedway, and cars were all over each other. They were bunched up all over the place. Chris Mack, on tracks that are actually meant to be raced that way, like Daytona and Talladega, found out he knew what to do. He was pretty good. I mean, he had the banking to, you know, but with other tracks, they killed his tires. And you would see, even though he may have been fast and passing a bunch of cars early on in a run, once the tires would wear, he would fall back and find himself in an incident, starting to become a lot more disciplined, though, as a driver. Very proud of this young man out in front. As long as he can keep that car clean and green to the end here, out in front from Road America, he will be a winner. He's opened up a pretty good gap with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin seemingly took some time to try to recover. Will he mount another run at that 97 car as he used up all his stuff? Watching that 20 machine, trying to reel in that 97 yet again. Closed the gap big time, was all over the rear bumper, couldn't make the move. before he made a mistake there. Now trying to run him back down. Denny Hamlin won here last season. Rookie in 06. Just looking, or MG Cup rookie in 06. Yeah, just looking to find victory lane. He did run part-time, I believe, in 06 in this series as well, or maybe that was, maybe I'm confusing that with last year, I don't know. But he's pretty fast on the road courses. He won the first race at Mexico City, which I believe that was in 06, because that was our, yeah, that was on there since the first season. So I believe he did win in 06. Won here last season. He's nothing to, that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, he's pretty decent here on these road courses. Maybe not, you know, like road course ringer great, but when the ringers get taken out in these wrecks, you know, they're shuffled back and, you know, deep in the middle of the field somewhere. I mean, he's got one of the best cars out there. It's hard to compete with that great equipment. So he knows how to get it done. He's got the skills, and he's building on them each and every year. And now finds himself in position to possibly win another one as he tries to run down Chris Mack in that 97 car. Chris Mack, a young intern for Papyrus Racing, big on the simulator side of things. Got thrown to the wolves, as I mentioned earlier, before we had the lower divisions for him to develop in. Now he's running full-time in the MG Modified Tour. And just looking to improve just in general, be more patient and be a better race car driver all around. Already knew he was fast on these road courses, but man, being in those modifieds, that forces him to be a little more patient. And I think that patience is now transferring over to these. Finally, Chris Mack has something to build off of. He's got the proper development that he needs. Papyrus Racing with a smart decision to close their doors temporarily on their Cup program. They did, however, technically bring their car back, as Mack Motorsports is basically just Papyrus Racing. That's why this season they're called Mack Motorsports Papyrus Racing, not just Mack Motorsports or Papyrus Racing, because they're still basically out of the same garage. It's just Chris Mack has a little more say in what's going on, and you know, he's making more of the decisions. He made the decision to keep the Cup team alive by purchasing the new Car Tomorrow body styles from the now defunct Morgan McClure Motorsports, as well as Ginn Racing. And now using one of those chassis to revive that number 86 machine and put Fred Jones back into a ride. And that's really cool of Mack to do that, as if Fred never got hurt, Mack wouldn't even be in this position. So Mack just giving Fred Jones a fair, you know, fair chance to get back behind the wheel here. Doesn't want to take his job completely and, you know, unfairly. Jones, he's good to go again after that bad injury and the test races back in 02. Which reminds me, we may or may not have some 02 test races uploaded to the channel at some point in the future. Haven't completely decided on that, but let's quit yapping for a second, because Denny Hamlin's coming back. He has closed the gap big time, right up to the rear bumper of that 97 machine. Denny Hamlin through the carousel yet again. Has recaught the 97 of Chris Mack, now looking for the race lead. Can he possibly get up there and win this thing? Chris Mack is going to have to play some good, strong defense, but at the same time, try to stay out of that mirror as much as he can, so he doesn't force himself into a mistake. He knows, Hamlin knows, that 97 is a little bit less experienced. Even though he has been racing MG Cup longer, he hasn't been racing in general as long as Hamlin has. He's got that experience to know. He can force the 97 into a mistake. 97's team just coaching him over the radio, trying to keep him calm, keep him smooth, let him hit his marks. As we come out of the final corner, heading up the hill, Chris Mack is going to lead us to the white flag. Denny Hamlin's right there behind him in draft range. Chris Mack down in the turn one, heavy braking zone. Hamlin right there behind him. Fell back a little bit. Mack a little bit stronger in this part of the racetrack, at least in turn one. Opened the gap back up a little bit. Those technical parts of the racetrack, Hamlin, I believe, has them. We got a lap car coming up here as well. Ron Hornaday Jr. in the 33. Where is he going to go? Is he going to stay out of the way, or is it going to be difficult for Mack to get by? Chris Mack caught him pretty quickly, lays the bumper to the back of that 33 machine as he stayed right in the racing line and now dives underneath. This time Hornaday is going to give him the line, but will he fight back or will he give it up? Looks like he'll give it up. He's going to try to stay on the lead lap, it seemed, but that wasn't possible. Now here comes Hamlin. Didn't quite get a great run through there either. Hamlin, can he get past the 33 car easily, or will it be just as difficult for Hamlin to get by to him? Hornaday just running his race at this point. He's going to let Hamlin get to his inside. Hamlin got a little tight there, couldn't quite get there to his inside, as I believe he was a little too aggressive with the throttle trying to get under him there. And now a little contact. Hamlin sideways. That's enough. That's all Chris Mack needed. He just needs to be smooth, hit his marks. Final couple of corners. Canada corner right here. Left. And now, for the final time, right. Off the final turn. He has done it from Elkhart Lake. Coming up the hill for the final time, Chris Mack is going to see the checkered flag. He's going to win at Road America. What a hard fight for Hamlin there, who comes home P2. Todd Cleaver P3. Kyle Busch, Eric Darnell, Juan Pablo Montoya comes home P6. Jason Leffler P7. Bobby Labonte and Casey Mears are actually P8 and P9. And rounding out the top 10, Brad Keselowski. And here's the rest of the field coming by as well. Man, oh man, what a race and what a battle that was. That's going to do it though. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe. Hope to see y'all next time, and until then, peace. My apologies, y'all. I almost forgot. We got to look at the points. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Looking at the point standings after that race, heading into the second half of the season, the NBC portion of the season. Jason Leffler leads us in points by 183 points over Casey Atwood, Miss Todd Cleaver, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards. Edwards apparently didn't make a race at one point in the season. Eric Darnell, for the most part, is part-time, but he's still P12 in points with only 11 starts. So not bad on him there. All his starts have resulted in great finishes. So, yeah, this is what our points are looking like for right now. And, yeah, that's going to do it. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Hope to see y'all next time. And until then, peace.